All right, today we're jumping into one of the most intense and, well, structured sequences in all of prophecy, the sounding of the first four trumpets. We're going to break down how this incredible narrative builds suspense and then just unleashes one world-changing event after another.
And it all kicks off right here. The seventh seal is opened, and you'd expect maybe a huge explosion or a flash of light, right? Nope. What we get is silence, a deep, unsettling quiet that hangs in heaven for about half an hour. It is the ultimate calm before the storm moment, just pure dramatic tension.
And right out of that stillness, the key players for this act appear. 7 angels, standing right there in God's presence, and each one is handed a trumpet. You know, the stage is officially set, and you just know that each of those instruments is a prelude to something catastrophic.
But hold on, before a single trumpet gets sounded, there's this really crucial ritual that has to happen. See, this isn't just random chaos about to be unleashed. It's a very solemn, very deliberate sequence of events that connects what's happening up there in heaven with the fate of everyone down on earth.
This whole ritual is centered around a golden censer. An angel is given a ton of incense, and here's the key part. It's specifically mixed with the prayers of God's people. I mean, what a powerful image, right? All their pleas and cries are literally rising up as smoke, coming directly before the throne of God. And then things take a very sudden, very violent turn. The angel takes that same censer, the one that just held all those holy prayers, fills it with fire from the altar, and just hurls it down at the earth. The very thing that carried their prayers now becomes the very thing that carries their judgment. Wow. The effect is immediate. That deep silence is completely shattered. Suddenly there's thunder, rumblings, flashes of lightning, and a massive earthquake. This is the overture, you know? It's the signal that the main event is about to get started. And now, the 7 angels get ready to sound their trumpets.
So here we go. We're at the core of it all now. The trumpets themselves. What we're about to see is a series of disasters that are incredibly targeted, and each one follows a very specific and pretty devastating pattern.
I mean, just look at how organized this is. The destruction moves systematically. First, it hits the land, then the sea, then the freshwater rivers, and finally, it goes after the heavens. And pay close attention to that last column. Notice that consistent fraction? We're going to be seeing that number a lot. The first angel steps up, sounds his trumpet, and this terrifying storm of hail and fire, mixed with blood, comes crashing down. The target is the land itself, and the ecological damage is just immense. A third of the earth is scorched, a third of all the trees are incinerated, and all the green grass is just gone.
Let's just pause on that number for a second. 1/3. Why that specific fraction? Well, it shows up over and over again. And the big takeaway here is that while the destruction is absolutely catastrophic, it's deliberately incomplete. It's not total annihilation. This feels more like a devastating warning shot than a final sentence. It's like a judgment that still has a little bit of restraint.
Okay, trumpet number 2 sounds, and now the target shifts from the land to the sea. Something described as a huge mountain all ablaze is thrown into the ocean. The consequences are a mirror image of the first trumpet. A third of the sea turns to blood, a third of all marine life dies, and a third of the ships on the water are destroyed, which would just cripple global commerce.
When the third trumpet sounds, another object falls from the sky. But this one's different. This one has a name, Wormwood. It's described as a great star, blazing like a torch. And you know, giving it a name, that just makes the whole thing feel so much more ominous, so much more deliberate.
So what does wormwood do? Its target is the fresh water, the rivers and the springs. It poisons a third of the planet's drinking water, turning it bitter, and the result is spelled out for us. Many people died from drinking it.
With the fourth trumpet, the destruction goes cosmic. It moves beyond the earth itself and starts targeting the heavens. A third of the sun, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars are struck, basically dimmed. The very lights that govern our sense of day, night, and the seasons are being diminished.
So what does that actually feel like on the ground? It's a fundamental break in reality. A third of the day is plunged into darkness, and a third of the night has no moonlight, no starlight. The whole world has suddenly become a dimmer, colder, and much more chaotic place to be.
After this systematic takedown of the entire natural world, you might be thinking, okay, that has to be the worst of it. But the narrative's not done yet. It's got one more dramatic twist. Just when it seems like things couldn't possibly get worse, a new voice cries out with a terrifying warning.
An eagle appears, flying right through the middle of the sky, screaming a message for everyone to hear.
And the implication is just chilling. It's basically saying that everything that just happened, the burned earth, the poisoned seas, the darkened sky, that was just the prelude. The eagle's 3 cries of woe line up directly with the final 3 trumpets, which are promised to be much, much worse.
And that just leaves us hanging with this final, chilling question. The first 4 trumpets brought this partial ecological collapse by attacking the systems of the planet. But this warning from the eagle, it implies the last 3 woes are going to be something else entirely, something more direct. So after a third of the world is already broken, what could possibly be left?